This is a 4-pound Swedish axe. I have no idea how old it is or how new, but I know it needs some love. I'm going to bring it back till it looks about as good as that 4-pound Kelly Perfect. The handle leaves something to be desired, but that doesn't matter, because when I'm done with this, I hope this thing will be sharp enough to field dress a grapefruit. So I've got belt sanders in here, and I could use those, but I'm going to use 2 or 3 angle grinders with different attachments, because that may be what you have in the shop. I just got this one, I've had that one, and I've got a couple other tricks up my sleeve that make an angle grinder a pretty darn versatile tool for restoring an axe. So yesterday morning I was out going through my old tool treasure chest. It's just full of all kinds of antique gear, lots of axes. And I came across this beauty. It's Swedish. Well, so am I, or at least I'm 50%. And the Royal Swedish touch mark that you can see on this blade only appears to show SAW. Those are my initials. So I just had to use it. Now, we've done a video about angle grinders before, and you've seen me using one on the channel quite a bit, and you will in the future quite a bit more. But the bottom line is this. Even a super cheap 4 or 5 inch diameter angle grinder is going to exponentially magnify both your satisfaction and your productivity in almost any kind of a workshop. So I did this with that Velcro pad polishing disc that you saw over there. Followed that, I was following a cup brush, so I didn't remove any stock from these faces. This is a unitized kind of a polishing thing. It's a 3M something. It's a little harder than you might choose for something like this, but I didn't hurt that axe one bit. The bigger problem that we're just about to confront is that I think the modern handle that I bought is not quite going to fill up that eye. Let me point this out. I put this together for the blacksmithing course. It's in the Essential Craftsman Academy. If you can rig up some way to clamp an angle grinder to a vise, it becomes a bench grinder with just a whole bunch of different attachments and polishing and sanding and brushing components that can go on. Pretty handy. Now, before I make this thing sharp, and I hope to make it like double sharp, I want to fit it onto the handle, because I don't want to be fitting a 4-pound piece of steel that's as sharp as a razor blade on that. It's just kind of a life safety issue. I want to get it on the handle before I put the final edge on it. So this is an axe eye wood chopper maul handle. It's straight. It's good for driving wedges in if you're falling timber. It's not ergonomic for actually splitting wood, and it's clunky and it's clumsy and it's oversized. There's no life. This is an older handle I've had around here for a while, and in my imagination, I can feel the hickory flexing. I don't think it's even imagination. This handle was $8.79. This one was $21, and I've got to spend 20 minutes sizing this down so it feels even decent. And furthermore, it's really not quite big enough for that Swedish axe head, but we're just going to fake it. We're going to wedge it, we're going to make it work, and we're going to save this for a more appropriate axe head. And for those of us who long for the good old days, try doing that with a wood rasp. So I looked around the shop for a couple more hacksaw blades, couldn't find them. So I'm putting 2 dull hacksaw blades on here because it'll pull out more material. I want to even up the slot in that handle, and I wonder if I can make 2 of them. Yes, looks like, oh, no, not yet. I've done it before with it. I got to put the white one on the back, I guess. Okay. We'll put the Lennox on the back. I'm going to run this slice down there quite a ways because this handle is rather small. Ah! So the fit up on this handle is kind of a problem. The handle's a little bit small. I mean, it's even small there. These Swedes put a hefty eye in there. And it's a problem with modern handle manufacturer, right? I would rather have to size the eye of a handle down to fit than have to put pieces in there to make it up. But we may end up having to do exactly that. Put pieces in there to make it up. We'll see in a few minutes. Wow. Wow. All right. A little more of that. So I find myself stuck with an axe handle that's just not quite big enough. But I'm going to run some wood glue, Titebond Ultimate down in there so that it'll get a hold of the wedge. I'm going to drive the wedge in, let it project out on this side. Yeah, there it goes. I think that's going to help us. Out comes the chisel. All right, here's a moment of truth. We're going to try to field dress a grapefruit with an axe. Because after all, if you can only have one tool in the wilderness, it should be an axe. Need to be a little sharper than that one, but here we go. 911 entered on my Apple. There we go. So the idea is you get to peeling off these things. Just like you would ordinarily do it with your paring knife. Once you can kind of see the segments, you decide where you're going to cut down through there. That looks like a good spot. And then you begin to kind of carefully lift the fruit off of the far side of its skin. So this is not a beautiful axe restoration, right? And this axe is fairly sharp, but keep in mind, an axe is typically a cannel grind. That is, the edges come together like this, not a hollow grind like a good sharp knife. And it's not ground like a Japanese kitchen knife. It's a cannel grind. So there's lots of steel behind the edge, so it can take a blow. But if you work at it long enough, you can get them pretty darn sharp. What did Abraham Lincoln said? If he had 6 hours to chop down a tree, he'd spend 4 hours sharpening the axe, something like that. You get my point? If you had to do this entirely by hand, a file, you can get started with a file and then end up with a stone. But it's not really my jam. I mean, I love axes, but I like electricity too. So there, we can get the tip of that in there. Yes. But it's no joke to think about the huge advantage it is sometimes to have an axe. And if you're going to have an axe, it might as well have a keen edge, right? Or at least keen enough to do the work that you got to make it do. Thanks for watching Essential Craftsman. Keep up the good work.